Woo! Them boys are in the building, boys. Them boys are in the building. Giddy up. The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock and doing a draft grade for the boys. But we're getting rid of this. Yeehaw! Here we go, guys. The Cowboys had the 17th overall pick this year. First round, they took C.D. Lamb, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma. 6'2", about 190 plus pounds. Wiry strong. Exceptional ball tracking skills. There's nothing you can say too bad about this kid. This kid did everything. His yak is through the roof. Once this kid got the ball in his hands, he was very, very hard to take down. Even just for a guy that wasn't over 200 pounds in college, he literally would run through defenders. He was a man amongst boys and a small guy at that. Because that's not very big. It's not small, but it's not a giant wide receiver, right? He did a lot of good things at Oklahoma. He's a willing blocker too. He's not afraid to put his nose into somebody's helmet and just take care of business, right? So he helps out in the run game. He does everything you need in a wide receiver. The one thing he might struggle with big defenders at times because he is a little bit smaller off the line of scrimmage. But once he gets going, he's the man. He's future number one wide receiver on that team easily. If something happens to Cooper, he could step right in and just be the guy. 173 catches, 3,200 yards plus, and a whopping 19 yards per catch. That's amazing right there in itself. And 32 touchdowns in 3 years. So you really like that. And he returns kicks. So the Cowboys didn't really need to do that because they already had a phenomenal offense to begin with. But they went out and they got themselves a surefire stud at wide receiver, which is pretty impressive. Then they went in the second round and they went Trevon Diggs, the cornerback out of Alabama. 6'2", 207 pounds plus. Physical kid. I gave this kid about a first or second round grade. He's the younger brother of Stephon Diggs, who got shipped off to the Buffalo Bills a little bit ago. And so he's got a good bloodline there, right? Because everyone knows that Stephon's a pretty damn good football player. He made this when he went to Alabama as a freshman. He was recruited as a wide receiver. Got switched over to cornerback because I don't know the wide receiver room in Alabama is absolutely insane. So it's just it's not that he's a bad wide receiver. I just think they were just so loaded at wide receiver that they use him at corner. So he's physical and he's smart enough to go from switch over to wide receiver to corner, which is a plus, right? Good speed, good ball tracking ability, everything you need. He plays like an alpha on the field, so you like that too. And he's got some issues, man. He's a work in progress because he made the switch over, so it's always going to be a work, especially at the next level when he has to face NFL talent. He really needs to work on his game. He'll draw a lot of flags because he gets panicky and he gets handsy, grabby. He'll do that every now and then. His tackling also needs work because you got to remember too. He's a wide receiver coming over on the defensive side of the ball, and he's probably not you know what I mean. He's probably not not saying he's not physical, but he might be a little bit tentative about wrapping up and really taking guys down. But he needs to mentally prepare himself in the NFL because it's a whole lot different, kid. It's a lot different. He just got to be coached up, and he's going to the Cowboys, so I'm sure they'll coach him up really well. 68 tackles, 4 interceptions, 4 years at Alabama. So, and he returns kick too. So he's another guy that returns kicks. So that was their second round pick. Then they went to the third, and they took Neville Gallimore, the defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. So they stuck with another Oklahoma kid, 6'2", 300 pounds. I gave this kid about a late second round grade. This kid's Canadian born. Is he from Canada, Ottawa? Salute to you, bro. And that's pretty cool right there. Stout build, explosive with really good closing speed for a defensive tackle. He needs to work on his run game a little bit. He gets caught up in the run. He loses track of the ball and stuff like that. So, but he's a really good pass rusher for a defensive tackle. So he'll come in probably on that Dallas roster, and they'll be using him as a pass rush specialist before anything else until he rounds out his game, or if he does, right? 67 tackles, 5.5 sacks. Only played 2 years at Oklahoma, but I think he went to a Canadian school. I'm not 100% on that though, but he only did 2 years at Oklahoma. So and then he decided to go to the NFL. So then the 4th round, they took Reggie Robinson, cornerback out of Tulsa. 6'1", 205. I gave this kid about a 5th round grade. I didn't really write too much about this guy. He's a big hitter for a cornerback though. He's got some really good size to him. He's not crazy athletic. His instincts are a little bit average. He'll probably be asked to play safety at the next level. He's more of, like I said, he's a big hitter, likes to hit, and that's what you usually look for in a safety instead of a corner, right? Like you obviously want your corner to be physical, but he's got safety written all over him. 132 tackles, 25 pass breakups, 4 picks in 4 years. So, but they're probably going to ask this kid to move to safety, and the Cowboys desperately need a safety. So that was the 4th round pick. Then they moved over to the 5th, and they took Tyler Biads, the center out of Wisconsin. 6'2", 320. I gave this kid about late 4th, early round 5th grade. He comes from a really good school, O-Line University. It's O-Line U, Wisconsin. All they do is pump out good O-linemen. And this kid's a good one. Good technician, savvy, good in the run game, really smart, just like every center. The center is usually your smartest guy in the room on the O-line anyways, right? Because he's calling out schemes, he's doing all kinds of things, he's helping out his fellow O-linemen. So that's really so he's a really smart guy. But he's not very quick. He'll struggle against bigger guys. And he needs to work on his pass protection. Sorry, Matthew, I almost knocked you over there, buddy. Yeah, but he needs to work on his pass pro, and then he should be okay. Then they went in the 5th round. Then they were still in the 5th. Another 5th round pick by the Cowboys. They took this kid's Bradley Anai, the defensive end out of Utah. I really liked this pick. This was a pick I really liked. This was a guy that I was kind of hoping the Lions were going to take in the 4th or the 5th round. 6'3", 255. I gave this kid about a 3rd round grade. When he was falling, every time he was falling, I was like, oh man, I was really hoping the Lions were going to take this kid because I really liked him. He got a plethora of pass rush moves. He doesn't stop. He's got a high motor. He's very intense. He's always got a good feel for the play, and he battles every play. His kid's coming off the field with his jersey bloody and his face all beat up. He's just a really good football player. He's something that you really look forward to watching. He's not crazy strong or bendy, and he's not long or anything like that. So he'll have trouble getting around some old tackles and stuff like that. But he's going to be used as a pass rush specialist too in Dallas. It really looks like Dallas is trying to load up on the pass rush. So this kid's going to be used as more of a specialist. If he rounds out his game and plays the run better, then he'll probably get on the field a little bit more for 2nd, 3rd down. But as of now, he's going to be a 3rd down long guy in passing situations. He had 135 tackles, 41.5 for loss, which is impressive to me too. 30 sacks and 6 forced fumbles, which I always like to see. That's in a 4-year span, so that's really good for him. That was a good pick by the Cowboys. I do like that pick. Then they had only one more pick. Yeah, I flew through this one. They had one more pick. They took Ben DiNucci in the 7th round. Quarterback out of James Madison, 6'3", 210. This kid's a transfer. He used to play for the Pittsburgh Panthers in college. He was there for 2 years. He was god-awful. He had 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 INTs, and only like a 54% completion percentage at Pitt. Then he rolled over to James Madison, and he played much better. 5,700 yards, 45 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. This is 2 years, and a 69% completion percentage average. So he's a total project, though, but he's actually a really good football player. But he's a project. I'm not too sure what they're really doing. I know the quarterback situation in Dallas is kind of messed up. They went out. They've been trying to sign Dak Prescott forever, and this guy won't accept 35, 34, or whatever they're offering him. They're offering $35 million, $36 million. He keeps saying no. I'm not too sure what's wrong with him. That's a lot of money. I don't know why he thinks he's worth more. So they went out and they signed Andy Dalton, who could be a very expensive backup if Dak holds out or Dak gets hurt. Then Dalton's going to cost a lot of money. But as of right now, he's on the cheap. He's only like $3 million if Dak plays. If he doesn't play, then he's like $7 million over. So I don't think Cowboy fans want the Dalton playing, but I don't know. Who knows, man? But it was a decent draft. I like what they did in the first couple rounds. Kind of lost me a bit in the middle of the third, the fourth there. Fifth was okay with the center. I really like the defensive end out of Utah, and then DiNucci. So I'm gonna give the Cowboys a B. You guys are getting a B from me. Run with it all you want. Tell me how you guys feel, and then we'll have a discussion about it then. Okay? Okay. But I should come at you guys with some more grades within the next day or two. Sorry I didn't get to any, but yesterday I just wasn't feeling it. Yesterday I was kind of feeling a little bit under the weather. It just wasn't really feeling too hot. But I'll be coming at you guys probably tomorrow with more grades or maybe something Lions related. All right, guys? So everybody stay tuned. Boom.